Good morning. It's Sunday morning. Yeah, Sunday. um, so stepped on the scale yesterday. Um, I am up a total of 6.6 pounds over the last three weigh-ins. So the Christmas week, actually it started from the week before Christmas. So the week before Christmas, the week of Christmas, and the week of New Year's has me up 6.6 pounds. Today, really being my birthday, is the last day of abnormal eating. Officially tomorrow, everything goes back to basics, back to what I normally practice, and there's no room for, any of this stuff lingering, right? So, I always, there's no really changing, because you guys, anybody who's been following me knows 3 gains in a row means I changed something. But because the 3 gains were essentially during the holidays, the change is just getting back to basics, right? And that's really where all of our minds should be right now, is back to basics, back to what normal life, right? Back to normal life. And that's essentially what I'm doing. But I had something funny happen, right? So a little bit of a victory. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you know this is a normal practice of mine, right? So the truth is, I'm up 6.6 pounds, right? That is the truth. But one thing I have done for many years now at this point, during the holidays, is I always like to know the truth of what the holidays have done to me, right? So I take the first weigh-in of October, and then I take the first weigh-in of January, and I do the math and I figure out what did the holidays do to me. And that has been a really bad number some years, and it has been an okay number other years. But for the first time, so here's another thing I could say. So I'm days away at this point from being able to say I'm doing this 7 years. On January 12th, it's my 7-year anniversary. And for the first time, here's another first time ever, when I take my weight from the first weigh-in of October and I take my weight from the first weigh-in of January, I'm down 1.8 pounds overall. So the truth is, I'm up 6.6, but when I do the normal what did the holidays do to me thing, I'm down 1.8, which is pretty funny. And it's to me, that it has never happened. First of all, never ever happened. I think that year 1 was a year I was terrified to hit the holidays, and year 1 is probably the only year where I stayed and maintained through the holidays. All the other holidays that came after that in this 7-year journey have been gains, right? And sometimes they were really bad gains. And here, the next step after doing this math would be mark the calendar of when did I get back to the October weight, right? Like, to see how long it took me to undo what the holidays did, right? And that's the things we so many of us ignore, right? We ignore these details because those details are not helpful, but they are helpful in a sense to, especially if you're someone who lets Jesus take the wheel over the holidays and just, do whatever you want. When you see that you gained X amount of weight during the holidays, and then you didn't get back to your October weight until June or July, which is how it happened to me. That's when I started to really say, hey, you really can't just be fooling around on the holidays. You got to really, because if it takes you half the year to undo what 3 months did, you're essentially going to be going through the circles of this all your life. And there's no getting there and then I'm sure there are people out there that can get to the next holiday and they haven't lost what they gained on the previous holiday, right? Which is probably going to be a really scary thing to figure out, okay? Because, we are willing to come to terms with the gains and not keep track of how long it took to get rid of them again. And then especially when they stick around and you get to the next holiday season and they're still with you from the previous one. These are not fun details to have, but they are important to details to have because they have to come into play. This is supposed to be a lifestyle change, right? And if the reality is, if the rest of the year is completely transformed, then the holidays are just an anomaly, right? But if you still struggle the rest of the year and you're going crazy on the holidays, it becomes like a, hey, look, what are we really doing here? Let's look at the truth. Let's see what we're really doing here, and let's get serious. Because there's only, 15 holidays, whatever it is. And if you add in birthdays and you add in anniversaries and all these other things that you could possibly do, obligations, what are we talking about? 20 days of the year? 20 days of a 365-day year, which means if you can nail 345 of those days, are you really going to be worried about those 20? Are you really going to be worried about them? No, you're not. It's just that simple. You're not going to be worried about it anymore because you know in your mind you live this life and you live it in a way that 345 days of the year, you're nailing it. Right? But it's important to see the details of the truth and to understand what is happening here. Right? It's important to not avoid the truth, but to face it and make the corrections and move forward. Right? And you see, this is what I've done essentially for, the last 7 years. I have come to this moment and I have made the corrections and I have moved forward. And it took that one time of, doing some math to figure out, hey, we really can't be going so crazy when it takes you more than half the year to fix what you created in 90 days, right? What good is that? What good is that? It's kind of sad, when you think about it, because it's like 90 days caused enough work for half a year, right? 90 days. It's a balancing act for sure. But I thought it was funny for the first time ever to do the same practice I normally do from October to January and to come out down. That was awesome. And I also figured out that for the year of 2025, 30 pounds was lost, which is an amazing, I'm trying to think if that I ever did that, but I'm sure year one was a lot of weight loss in the whole year. But since then, it's been little amounts, and I'm sure that it has not been this high. So this past year of 2025 being 30 is definitely a good, definitely good, and nothing to complain about there. Morning. So that is a good report to have on January 4th, 2026. It's a good thing to look back on my birthday and see just what was accomplished in the previous year, I guess, and now going forward, and to get back to basics going forward. Anyway, it is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. It's family day. And it is the last football Sunday of the year before the playoffs. So whatever you're doing today, enjoy your family, enjoy your worship, enjoy your football, and enjoy your Sunday. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.